think the Ravens are the biggest winners in the AFC North this offseason?
This is a team that consistently is going to be in position to contend because of how talented they are. The reality of it is those guys can play.
The AFC should watch out for the Baltimore Ravens this season.
Players in the NFL, certainly one of the best players at quarterback. They got a guy at tailback in J.K. Dobbins, who I think could be an all-pro. They got one of the best tight ends in football, a plethora of perimeter weapons, some health on the offensive line, a very good defensive line, one of the better young linebackers in the NFL, and a top 5 secondary. And no one talks about it.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to another episode of At the Bank, a Baltimore Ravens podcast. Yo, y'all already know this Saturday is going to be a little bit different because this is the post-game show from Thursday Night Showdown, you feel me? And I got another special guest. He said he wanted to hang out with me because he helped us out on Thursday night, man. I would like everybody to meet Mr. Brooms. Mr. Brooms, this guy is very, very, very helpful because, like I said, this podcast episode is titled Get the Brooms. You feel me? And because Cincinnati got swept, we are done with them. We are no longer have to worry about them no more this season. And I don't think now they want to make the playoffs because they lost Joe Burrow. Woo! Tough. It had a tough outing on Thursday. You feel me? And I'm gonna go ahead and sit here and tell y'all why I feel like after beating the Cincinnati Bengals now, throwing up a nice amount of points, the Ravens are true contenders. I'm trying to tell y'all, we are true contenders, man. And as this show goes on, man, I'm gonna go and give y'all each reason why I feel like our Ravens are true contenders. You feel me? So, but I gotta start the show off with a little bit of the bad news, man. And it sucks. It really bothers me that I had to start the show off like this, and I really didn't want to start the show off, but I'd rather just go ahead and get the bad news out the way now, man. But we are out we don't have Mark Andrews' service for the rest of the season, man. He is done. Oh man, what a heartbreaking situation that is, man. You feel me? Because for the simple fact that he is Lamar's safety blanket, man. But before I even get there, man, Andrews will be out due to an ankle injury for the rest of the season. And it's a possibility that he might have got a hairline fracture in his fibula, man. So I wish Mark Andrews nothing but a speedy recovery, man. Can't wait to see what you're going to come back with vengeance next year because I know you're going to be coming back with vengeance. I know you're going to be showing that why you are a top tight end in this league, man. Like I said, in my eyes, you are the number 2 tight end in this league, and you're going to be heavily missed in this offense, man. Like, heavily missed, man. And the simple fact that the reason why I say he's going to be heavily missed in this offense because he's Lamar's safety blanket, like I was starting alluded to. Safety blanket. Him and Lamar came in the same year, you feel me? And once Lamar got in and Mark Andrews started being real, the key part of this offense is that you can just see the chemistry, how they are gel together, how you can just see the brotherhood between these two is really going to grow and what this brotherhood can really blossom into. You feel me? And for the simple fact that now that he's not going to be there, man, that's a big chunk of our offense now just being taken away because Mark Andrews get thrown to 55% of the time in this offense. The number 1 target is now gone. It's like 55. That is a high number for a tight end. You know what I mean? Even though we know Travis Kelce's probably around that same range also too, but 55% of the time Mark Andrews was the guy. You know what I mean? At least trying to be the guy. That's who Lamar looked to. That's who Lamar felt like he can come up in big time situations. And now that you go ahead and just take that away, man, because like I said, he was due to have a big year this year. I felt like Mark Andrews was going to have an awesome breakout year. And with him having that breakout year can possibly help us go deep into the playoffs and reach that Super Bowl, man. Like that's how big I felt like Mark Andrews was going to really have, because before since this season is over with, this is what he had brought to the table. He had brought 45 receptions already. He had already had 544 receiving yards, and he had 6 touchdowns already. 6 touchdowns. And he was averaging about 12 yards of reception. So that's an automatic first down. And now that's being taken away. It's like, whew, that is. I know Todd Monken is a real smart guy. Is a great offensive coordinator, because the way he's been doing this year is really a tremendous job. So now I'm really got to see how can he replace that 55%. You know what I mean? Even though I know it's not going to just be one guy that can really change that or really can take on that role. Isaiah Likely, it's a good tight end. It's most definitely now time for him to step up and show out why he was drafted and brought on to this team, and why he's the number 2 tight end behind Mark Andrews. He's really going to have to show that next man up is really a thing in here. I believe in Isaiah Likely. Yes, it's going to take him a while, because him and Lamar got to build that chemistry. You feel me? I'm not saying he's going to have that same chemistry as Mark Andrews, but likely most definitely going to have to find a ways once Lamar get out the pocket and roll out, and the play breaks down. Isaiah Likely got to be in Lamar's vision to show it that he's open, or he is capable of doing that. So I got faith in Isaiah Likely, but also now the other guys had to really step up. Rashad Bateman, even though yes, he did score a touchdown this past Thursday, but Bateman going to have to insert himself into the offense a little bit more. Zay Flowers really going to have to take over this offense. The ball is really going to be looking like it's going to be coming your way a lot of the times now. So he's really going to have to kind of elevate his game. OBJ is going to have to elevate his game a little bit more. So, you know what I mean? Nelson Aguilar, everybody's going to have to really do a little bit more just to fill in for Mark Andrews. Because like I said, man, Mark Andrews was a big piece, man. And like I said, I was upset when I found out and when I seen that Mark Andrews was coming back to the game, number one. And then when I woke up the next day to see that he was done for the season, man, broke my heart, man. Broke my heart. But, you know, every setback always gives you get you ready for a major comeback. So I feel like Mark Andrews is going to have a major comeback next year, and I can't wait for him to come back. So the game went on, you know what I mean? So and as the game should, and Lamar really showed out that game. He really showed that he should be talked about and mentioned as a top quarterback in this league, because Lamar had a decent game. Lamar was 16 from 26, 264 yards, and threw 2 touchdowns. 0 interceptions. You see that's a real big, significant change from last week in Cleveland, man, when he threw that pick 6. So now that he was mistake-free when it comes to interceptions, he didn't have no lost fumbles. It seems like everything was in Lamar's favor, man. It seems like our offense was really starting to click a little bit. At times, yes, it did go stale. It did go stale at times, man. And it felt like I was sitting there on the couch, was like, man, why does this offense keep going stale? Because I felt like once Mark Andrews had went down, it was like, man, where do we go at? What places people supposed to be at? You know, Mark Andrews normally get open faster than normally we can get open. And then, you know, you can just see like the little bit of confusion of that offense. But somehow, some way, LJ and that offense found a way to actually show that they are a top tier offense. You know, even with a missing piece, even with his safety blanket is not there. because it's not just Mark Andrews that's not there. We, also J.K. Dobbins, people keep on fail to mention. It's not there. So, Lamar just keep on finding ways to show that he is a dynamic dual quarterback, man. You know what I mean? And you know what else that was so good for Lamar that happened for him, man? Because look at these takeaways real quick. Look at these takeaways. At the winning that game on Thursday, Lamar became 8-1 lifetime against the Cincinnati Bengals. 8-1. That is dope. You feel me? And it just don't stop there. Lamar has won his 53rd game, which is the most for any quarterback that's 27 years and younger. He's like, what? It's like, wow. And then it just don't stop there. Thursday win over the Bengals was Odell's back on first 100-yard game since the 2020 NFC title game. It's like mind-blowing. Like, people who all would never think that since Lamar was such an injury prone and he's the running back, that he wouldn't be 8-1 against the Cincinnati Bengals. 8-1. He only lost one game. Now, granted, yes, he did miss two games from the Cincinnati Bengals, but 8-1 is still good number. So, like I said, it's just for the simple fact that the offense has still found the way to keep moving and keep clicking, man. And only thing I wish that we it would have changed. Just one thing, that OBJ would have got that one touchdown. I wish he would have got a touchdown. That would have been really, really electrifying. But, other than that, man, the offense was really clicking, and it found the way that even our guy, Gus Edwards, who always keeps finding a way into this end zone, man, keep on finding the way into the end zone, scored 2 touchdowns himself. And he had 64 rushing yards. So you can just see that our offense has just found the way to be balanced. Even though, yes, the running game wasn't spectacular. Keaton Mitchell didn't have that big burst of breakout games he had in the beginning, last week. But he was still able to, the Ravens were still able to have a balanced attack, was still able to push over 400 yards, total yards. Like 400 total yards, like, what more do you really want for our Ravens? The only thing, another thing I really want for our Ravens is, and then we actually did it this week, is that close out these games in the fourth quarter. And that's exactly what the Ravens did, was able to close out the game in the fourth quarter. Simple. If the Ravens would have did that last week, man, hands down, wouldn't have known what the hell. We would have been way better than what we are looking now. You feel me? So it just for the simple fact that the Ravens just keep on putting ourselves in contention to show that our offense should be mentioned as a top offense in this league, and it's got to mention that it is it's getting cold now. That our offense is starting to heat up in the cold. That's gonna be very, very scary. Very, very scary. They have a balanced attack, and Lamar have a balanced attack. Like, wow. You know what I mean? We can, and then another key thing is that the Ravens offense once again found a way to throw up 30 plus points. 30 plus points. That's every game. No. That is out of the 11 games this year, 8 of our games has been 30 plus. 8 of them. That guys to really sit here and think that now, just like when you look at other offenses, can they throw up 30-something points or 30 plus points like the Ravens? If they can't throw up 30-something points, and if our defense play the way they kind of been playing all year, once again, man, we are the scariest team in the AFC. And matter of fact, we got to be the scariest team, period. Because when it comes to the NFC, y'all got to sit here and remember, yo, Lamar is 17-1. I mean, 17-0. When it comes to going against NFC. I'm just saying. So when it's almost about that time for us to sit here and start thinking about, yo, give Todd Monken and this offense some props. Yes, it takes some time. You can just see it takes time. But at that same time, that once it starts to get clicking, oh boy. But you know what I mean? I got more facts to go ahead and give y'all feel me. The more facts I would like to give to y'all, it was what I found in these takeaways is that did you know that under John Harbaugh, the Ravens are 8-0 in Thursday night football? Let's let that ponder a minute. 8-0 on Thursday night football. Wow. And it's like the Ravens average about what? 2 Thursday night games a year. You know what I mean? Sometimes just one a year. So the simple fact, even if we do get 2 a year, it's like we are undefeated. You don't want to see us when it play on Thursday night. You might want to see us on Sunday. You might want to see us maybe on Monday, but when it comes to Thursday night, you don't want to see it. So NFL, if y'all would like to do us a favor, man, go ahead and switch that. You know, once the Ravens get to the Super Bowl, go ahead. Don't even make it Super Bowl Sunday. Just make it a Thursday night game. I guarantee you the Ravens going to win. By these stats, man, you can just go ahead and see that we are already set for Thursday night games. But you know what that also shows me? It shows me that when the lights are on and the lights are really bright, the Ravens are ready to take on that challenge. Ready to take on that challenge. So you can just see that it doesn't matter what the stage is or how bright the lights is, the Ravens are ready for it. So that means all we got to do is just take care of business in the playoffs. Because once we get to that bigger stage, that pressure shouldn't be that much of a pressure. We shouldn't get a little bit shook. The light shouldn't be too bright. Because we already sit here and see on primetime games, man, we are good. We are good. Like I said, those Thursdays, wow. So shout out to John Harbaugh, man, Ravens on the Thursday night games, man, for actually being undefeated. Not a lot of teams can actually say that. You feel me? As we now about to switch over to the defensive side. For my offensive grade, I would like to give the Ravens an A. Give the Ravens an A. And I had to really sit here and let that sizzle, let that, sink in the brain a little bit. Why would I give them an A? Number one, like I said, they threw up 30-plus points 8 out of 11 games this year. That's one key fact. Another key fact, we lost a major key piece of our offense, and our offense was still to put up 4 touchdowns. That's another key piece. The third key piece, balanced attack. It's not only just because that one player doesn't stop the show. Yes, he's the big main attraction of the show, but it didn't stop the show. And the Ravens still found a way. Yes, it took a little minute, but the Ravens still found a way to get that offense to keep moving. And to, like I say, to actually get the Brooms for the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's why I'm really giving the Ravens an A for their offense. Like, our offense really stepped up this week, man, and I'm actually proud of them, man. Like I said, going 8-0 in Thursday night games. Lamar going 8-1 against the Bengals of all time. OBJ getting his 100 yards for the first time since 2020. It just everything looks like it's turning and going to the right way. So I give the Ravens an A on the offensive tip. You feel me? So I got a comment. Let's see who I got the comment from. I got somebody that's called. Hopefully, I'm saying this boy, that boy Mitch, and he said facts. That's all I'm trying to give y'all, man. Just straight facts. You feel me? I appreciate you for tuning in, my guy. But yeah, that's all facts. That's exactly why, like I said, I felt like the Ravens are a true contenders in this going to the Super Bowl. And let's switch it over to the defense. The defense, on the defensive side of the ball, man, I felt like we did all right. Wasn't too efficient. I mean, wasn't the best outing. Let me say that. Wasn't the best outing because it's still some things that we got to show up on. You know what I mean? One of the things that we got to show up on is that run defense. For us to have a good edge rushers and a good stout guys in the middle, Joe Mixon was getting his monies. If the Bengals was able to keep Joe Burrow in the game, maybe, and if they was able to feature Joe Mixon a little bit more, because the simple fact that their offensive line was touching our linebackers, they was getting to the second level. And you know, for that offensive line to get to the second level, it was like, whoa, what's going on here? We should be able to stop the run. They shouldn't be able to get not one lick. But it was like that offense, a line was able to like, look, when we run the ball, we are here. We're gonna punch the Ravens in the mouth. And that's what it was look like the Bengals was doing. Like I said, it just like for the Bengals, the game got out of hand. We was able to go up multiple touchdowns, and the Bengals run game was like, it didn't exist no more. So that's one thing that I know that we have to shore up, man, is that run defense, man. Because there's no way our defense should be this good, and I keep raving about being a top 5 defense, that our run defense should be able to get ate up like that. It shouldn't. We should be stopping the run. I'm not saying that every run should be a tackle for loss. I'm not saying that every run got to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. But almost every run that Joe Mixon was breaking off, man, he was getting 7 yards a pop pretty much. And that's not a good run defense. That's not good run stoppage. So I'm most definitely looking to see that the Ravens get better on that run defense, man. And another thing, the reason why I said our defense is all right. We did all right this week. Is a lot of PI penalties. A lot. If I'm not mistaken, we had at least 2 pass interference calls. And one of the pass interference calls is on Rock Yashin. My God, you can't just run through a wide receiver and then expect the call not to come at you. You can't. I don't know what the hell you was thinking about. You can't just sit here and run through the wide receivers simply showing you that he's coming back to the ball, and you still run through him, and then you still had a puzzled look on your face talking about, what did I do? It's like, you know what you did, yo. That's just blatantly pass interference. Another pass interference match came from my guy Ronald Darby. Now, he played, he was able to get his head around, but it just wasn't fast enough. And then, you know, you started pushing, you started using your offhand to push on the wide receivers. It's blatantly short. That's pass interference. Now, you didn't get up with the puzzle look like, what did I do? You shrugged it off and you actually played a decent game after that. So I commend you for that one. But Rock Yashin, man, that really blew me, man. When you had the puzzle look, I was like, man, get the fuck out of here with that, man. You killing me. But anywho, we got to most definitely show up and not give teams opportunities to get momentum. And those plays, it was actually helping Cincinnati Bengals to get momentum in that game. So that was another thing. But you know what the great thing about it was, good thing about our defense? You know what I mean? I gave you the bad, now here's the good. Our defense was able to sack the quarterback 5 times. And we are still leading the league in sacks this year. So shout out to the defense. Shout out Mike McDonald for going ahead calling a stellar game. but having great strategy going against the Cincinnati Bengals and having good strategy once Joe Burrow had left the game, because that defense could have just started letting up a little bit. No, you kept the pressure on. So shout out to that on that one. Our defense was able, once we got those 5 sacks, you know what that means? That's 5 punts. 5 punts that the Bengals got to do now. So to have creating opportunities for our offense, and that's how our offense was able to keep putting points up on the board. That's how our offense is able to put up 34 points, 34 or 30 plus points a game. Let me say that. Because our defense is giving us opportunities. And also our defense was able to hold the Bengals to 272 yards total. So right there, it shows you now you're starting to see like, all right, they are a top 5 defense, Dad. You gotta sit here and hold that statement, because everything that you keep, all the facts that you keep laying out is showing that they are a top 5 defense. And another takeaway that happens, if you look at the bottom, it says the Ravens defense held Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase to 2 receptions for 12 yards and just 1 touchdown. And he's supposed to be a top wide receiver in this game, right? 2 receptions for 12 yards and 1 touchdown. And that touchdown came on very, very late. That was their last touchdown, where our defense was pretty much, saying, hey, the game is over. It doesn't matter if you score a touchdown or not. The game is over with. Y'all just go ahead patting your stats. But you want to know one quarterback that played him the majority of the game, and a lot of people need to do their research and look into this guy, because I'm trying to tell you, this guy is starting to show you that he can potentially be a top corner in this league if he keep going this route that he's going. The cornerback that played Jamar Chase majority of this game, Brandon Stevens. I said it, Brandon Stevens. He played Jamar Chase majority of this game. Now, no, he didn't follow Jamar Chase everywhere across the field, but when Jamar Chase was lined up on his side and on him, Brandon Stevens played him. And you know what reason why I'm trying to tell people that he's about to be a top corner in this league if he keep going the route that he's going? Brandon Stevens is a cornerback in this game and has played 427 coverage snaps and has not allowed a touchdown so far this season. 0 touchdowns Brandon Stevens has given up this year. And the Ravens is not really giving up that many touchdowns at all this year. But for the simple fact that Brandon Stevens is giving up 0 touchdowns so far at under 400, going 427 snaps, that's dope. And that's not to mention that Marlon Humphrey hasn't really been here all year for real. So to sit here and think like, whoa, Brandon Stevens, you is doing your thing, my guy. Keep balling. We need you to keep balling. Because like I said, people kept on saying that our DBs was the weakest link of the chain. But it seems like that it's not. It seems like that we are people need to start mentioning us. That's the team that people need to start mentioning us as good, as a good defensive team, period. All around. You know what I mean? It's just not the front 7. It's the back end too. So shout out to Brandon Stevens, man. All right. Before I let y'all go, y'all already know it's time to give y'all the players who earned their wings this week. And we're going to start on the offensive side, man. The offensive side, the player who earned their wings this week, man, it's no other than OBJ. Odell Beckham Jr., man, most definitely deserved that he earned his wings this week, man, because like I said, if y'all pay attention to the stat that I said earlier, OBJ had got 4 receptions, 116 receiving yards. Yes, he had 0 touchdowns, but This is the first time since 2020 NFC Championship game that Odell Beckham had reached over 100 yards. And not to mention, man, like I said, Mark Andrews went down this game. He stepped up, and that's just with 4 catches that he did that. It didn't have to take him 10 catches. It didn't take him 6 catches or 7, anything. It took him 4 catches. It's showing that OBJ is still explosive a little bit. He still got a little bit of juice in his legs, and he's starting to peak at the right time. We need OBJ to start peaking at this time because it's the simple fact that, like I said, now we don't have Mark Andrews. We're going to need that veteran leadership going down to lead these young guys like a Zay Flowers and a Rashard Bateman to actually elevate their game a little bit more. And Nelson Aguilar also. You know what I mean? We need those 4 guys to like raise their bar just a little bit. And I think that OBJ is the guy to actually get that motivation and to get it out of these guys. So for OBJ to actually throw up 100 yards on the night that we got the Brooms, and, you know, I'm gonna keep on mentioning the Brooms to the shows, but he's able to do that on the night that it helps us go 8-0 under John Harbaugh on Thursday night games. Helps Lamar go 8-1 against the Cincinnati Bengals of all time. It's like, whew, why not give him his wings now, man? He deserved to have his wings, and you know what I mean, it's better late than late than never. Because I've been wanting to give OBJ his wings on the days that I wasn't here available to do the show. So it's not just give me makeup or anything in that nature, but I really do think that Odell Beckham deserved his wings this week, and he showed you why. 116 reception yards with just 4 receptions. Pretty dope. And on the defensive side, man, it was a little bit tough on the defensive side. I wanted to give it to Jadeveon Clowney, man, because he's having a balling breakout year. Like he really is. But you want to know another guy on that defensive side that's having a balling year and is going to get paid this year. Hopefully it's by my Ravens. Justin Amadubike. Justin Amadubike is really becoming one of my favorite Ravens right now, man. For the simple fact that that he is showing that he's valuable on that defensive line. That he is very, very valuable. And reason why I say that he is valuable for the simple fact that Justin Amadubike had got 8 games with a half a sack, or he got 6 games with a whole sack. You know what I mean? So for him to go ahead to each game, showing that it doesn't matter what offensive line is in front of him, he is going to be able to get to to that quarterback. He is that guy. He is starting to become that interior defensive lineman that every offensive lineman and everybody outside the Ravens organization need to be talking about. You know what I mean? He needs to be sitting here maybe mentioning into this defense of the year candidate. Now, I understand, no, he's not TJ Watt. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not Michael Parsons, none of that in that nature. But Justin Amadubike, for him to have a sack, a half a sack in 8 games and a whole sack in 6 games, that's pretty dope. That's pretty good for a defensive lineman who really didn't have a lot of stats behind him. You know what I mean? And he actually earned his way on the team and came from the ground up. So shout out to Justin Amadubike, man. Shout out to OBJ for earning y'all wings this week, man, in week 11, man. So, man, give it up to him, man. All right, y'all. I appreciate you for joining in this post-game show, man. Hopefully I gave out a lot of good stats, a lot of good facts. You feel me? So please go ahead and in the comments, tell me what you think about this episode, how the Ravens did on Thursday night. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, man. Make sure y'all follow the Grid Network. Make sure you hit that alert button so you can get your alerts every time I come up on this screen, you feel me? Or whenever anybody from the Grid Network, because we got dope shows like Carving It Up with Bryson, All Even Podcast, Clutch Sports Talk, Outside the Cage, Raiders Roundup Podcast, you feel me? And my very other own MTMO Sports Podcast, who episode my 117th thought is available right now. I'm trying to tell y'all. It's a real dope episode. Go check it out. But make sure y'all go ahead and check the Grid out, period. You know what I mean? Enter the Grid. Dare to be different. Especially if you tired of hearing that same old other sports analysts, you the same repetitive stuff. You want to hear something different. You want to hear something in your lingo. Come to the Grid, you feel me? And also, man, when you come to the Grid, man, you can also go to our clothing line. Our clothing line has great clothing apparel, such as hats, shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, whatever you feel like is good for you. But you know what I mean, come on to the Grid and support us. Cause like I said, man, we is nothing but content creators just trying to get from the bottom on to the top, you feel me? So make sure y'all go out, support. Go to the Grid Network, go to any of our social media platforms. Most definitely go to at the bank social media platforms. For Instagram, you got at the bank _podcast for Instagram and TikTok. For my Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, you got at the bank _pod. Make sure y'all go tune in to all the Grid social media platforms. I'm pretty I know for sure that it's all our platforms, social media platforms is going to be the Grid Network. So I appreciate you for tuning in, man. And as always, big trust. Why trust anything else? I'm out.